All right, all honor, praise, and glory be to Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Wahakodash Wakah, double honors to the apostles over at the great millstone who rule well, the true elders of Yasha Allah, I believe. All right? And peace and blessings to you, all you brothers out teaching this truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth where we have been scattered to, feeding the flock, man. Okay? To you I say peace and blessings. Shalom wa barakim. Ha'aman Bakiyar, right? Faithful elect. And to the rest of you, awakening of the Israelite nation. Diligently, hastily, and with fear, consisting of you, only of you so-called, well, yeah, of you so-called Negroes, aka blacks, and so-called Native American Indians and Latinos. See why I say peace and blessings as well. So getting straight into it, coronavirus could end spell of business travel. Article put up by Bloomberg. It's cut me off from getting the rest of this article. I'm gonna play the video, but pretty much I'm gonna read what I did get. This is July 20th this year, 2020. U.S. passenger totals plummeted more than 95% at the peak of the pandemic-related travel collapse. So the article is pretty much, because I read it and then it cut me off because you have to pay for this. But pretty much, you know, this is a watch. This is the good stuff, you know, because we simply know, you know, where we're at in the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Due to America's business. So Esau, he wants to make it hard for you to obtain, you know what I'm saying, to really know what's going on by giving watered down information, distractions, when there's real news taking place, man. Right? Prophecy is really happening. So 95% of where the business was before this coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic hit is now gone. It's now no more. And it was pretty much saying that they think it could never return. So that should tell you right there that this also going into the psyops, that this is truly set up, and they're making sure things don't return back, because as it tells us in Revelation 12:12, for the devil won't be unto that dwell in the earth, because the devil, he cometh unto you having great wrath, knowing he have but a little time, man. And the devil being a so-called white man, and that's just paraphrasing that. So that verse, you know. So what is this going into with the business ending? You know, the airlines business industry is multi-billion, trillion, I believe. Business of the so-called white man that has left his pockets, and he's willing to accept it because he knows his run is here. The end of his run is here. So it says at stake is the most lucrative part of the airline industry, business travel, because you got a lot of the plays being made, you know, by a lot of the playmakers in America. Well, if they can't travel, you know, a lot of the playmakers get on these airlines, whether it's private, first class, hell, business. A lot of the biggest, most important transactions are had or manifested, you know, to the benefit of America by certain businessmen and women who are able to get on these planes and travel, man. So that's why I say at stake is the most lucrative part of airline industry, business travel. You know, if Steve Jobs can't get on his flight, if Jeff Bezos can't get on his flight, if you know, the owner of these, you know, everything's ran by the elites. starting with the Rothschild family on down, you know, the uh, the Jewish banking families, you know, who's actually over in Europe, but a lot of the economy is had by initial business owners, merchants, known in the scriptures, uh, is what they're known as. AKA they're the playmakers. So once they're stopped from being able to make those plays, which is by them being able to get on those planes and travel to, not only put money in their pocket, but when their pocket is filled with money, it's taxed. It's given back to the system, right? It's given back to the financing of the country. So America's no longer being financed. So what's actually going on with that being the case? The end of the world, man. End of Esau's world. So I'm going to hit play on this. And it's due to certain wickedness, man.
What if your email let you find everything you needed, even if it wasn't sent directly to you? Then it wouldn't be email at all. Break out of your
So, that's heavy because
What's the latest that we're seeing when it comes to this, I don't know, we're calling it a third wave, certainly a serious wave of infection sweeping Hong Kong?
Slovakia. Esau's on these heathens on technology. Starting with Esau is actually going to help make sure a lot of his bread and butter doesn't able to come back because everything's convenience. So with people able to FaceTime, they don't necessarily even have to even get on a plane anymore. So eventually, there will be no need for business travel. You see that? Let's see. Second Esdras, 14th chapter, and 20, I believe. It says, let me see. One second. Bear with me 1 second. Second Esdras 14, chapter 14, verse. I drawn too low. Okay, here we go. It says, Second Esdras, let's see. I'm going to start at the 8th verse. I'm going to start at the 6th verse. These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide, And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed thee, that I have shewed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the times be ended. For the world has lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. So those things is played out and they're dying, man. You know, the airline business is been around for some time, and everything to everything there's a season. You know, it tell us that, you know, just to make some quick sense. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. You see that? So that's that, man. So going back, and it's just the time, man. It's time for the airline industry, certain merchants and CEOs, business and way of life to die, because the world we know is dying, right? It says, because it's old, it's played out now, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and the half of it, and a half of a 10 part. So we've been at the end. You know, we're at the end of the end now. You know. Let's see. Now let's jump down. Verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. It's going to get worse, man. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, right? So it's only going to get worse. They trying to put time spans on it. Well, 2-3 years, 16 to 24 months. That's a long time, man. Stuff can't endure. You know, America's basically in a coma. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about to wake up. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more evil shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. They say, for the truth is fled far, and leasing is hard at hand. And that, I believe, goes into people having confidence that they can make America great again. You know, uh, uh, forget the word for it in the Hebrew. You know, what is it? I forget, but pretty much, you know, it's going into the Lord when he say those that speak it. He hated those that speak it leasingly. You know, Lord willing, I can get that. For now, hasted the vision to come, which thou hast seen. So that's that, man. Now, real quick, let me go ahead and link that up. This is Habakkuk 2:2. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it. So you need to be running to these prophecies, invested in these prophecies, man, getting prepared, like the scriptures was telling you in that same. They say, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? But at the end it shall speak. So once it's the end, you're going to hear it. You're going to know it and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. So they talking 16, 24 months. Okay, we'll see. Lord willing, it's not. But, you know, what we need to be doing is getting ourselves invested in these prophecies completely, because it will surely come and will not tarry. You know what I'm saying? Because you have some They're not. It's just to show how real this is. Yeah, 5 and 6. You know what I'm saying? Truth is for it's kazab. That's what it is. It's a lie. Okay, yeah, okay, Salakia. It was something else I was thinking of. A lie, untruth, falsehood, deceptive thing. You know, so it's a lie that America's is gonna be made great again. You know what I'm saying? It's a deceptive thing to think you're coming out of this. That this is just it's a false flag. It say anything that deceives, deludes by false hope. See that? False oracle. So it's no truth in America can be made great again. You know, that's why I say in second Ezra's, in that 14th chapter, 18th verse, for the truth is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. Right? For now hasted division to come, which thou hast seen. It's kind of impossible for you to be able to say the opposite, oppose what's going on right now. You know, and so-called be optimistic. Last chapter. This is second Salakia. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, in the 10th chapter. And I got a toothache, so Salakia. This is I'm gonna start at so we're seeing the end of the world. Let me get that too. 6 and 9. You know, Second Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Esau is the so-called white man. His rule is right now, and is at its end. And Jacob is the beginning of it to follow it. And that's the so-called white man's arch enemy, the so-called black man. You know, the butt of all his jokes, his oppression, his affliction. You know, and on the receiving end of his shot bullets. You know. All right. So back to 10. It's an end for that. You know. And on the end of Esau's, basically being the on the end of receiving his identity stolen and all his history, you know, so-called black man, aka Negroes, you know, as well as so-called Latinos and Native American Indians. So it's a Sirach 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So even though Esau, he has this thing so-called well established, and he thinks it's fortified. This is fortified city, trumping his wall and stuff like that. Everyone's scared of them. They got the military. They got the Israelites working for them. They completely got Jake off drugs and spiritual drugs, spiritual wine, spiritually fornicating, etc. You know what I'm saying? To where his kingdom really shouldn't be able to end, but to everything there's a season, man. You know, so the Lord said, because of unrighteous injuries and dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by the sea, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So simply because he was just set up to lose his kingdom with, in the way it would be established. It'll tell you if, you know, he labored in, if the Lord have not built the house, he labored in vain that built it, man. And the Lord ain't built it, man. Kingdom being set up, you know, which is a whole nother thing. Simply a punishment for the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. All right, let me jump down. Verse 15, the Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place. The Lord overthrew the countries of the heathen, and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away, and destroyed them, and had made their memorial to cease from the earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what's going on, man. The Lord, it says, it's a time to die and pluck up that which is planted. It say the Lord had to pluck it up, the roots of the proud nations. You know what I'm saying? All these, China is not the next superpower. Russia is not the next superpower, man. North Korea is not the next superpower, man. It's not. It's just not. It's not happening. Israel is. Yasha Allah, man. You know, these nations are being plucked up. They won't have their time to shine with the beast anymore. You know, American Airlines is one of the biggest money making sources for America. You know what I'm saying? And it's no more, man. It's no more because the Lord's plucking everything up, and the end is here, man. You know, everything is ending. Everything of this world, man. And he's about to put the lowly in their place, man. He's about to put us in their place, man. So we just got to invest fully in these prophecies. And I'm going to get my last scripture, you know, because this speaks wonders, man. Philippians 4:12. It says, Salakia 4:5. Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand, right? Let me get the exact one I'm looking for. So with the Lord being at hand, that's the end of all things, because he has the job to do with him in his hand. You know, he has an objective mission. He is sent out to accomplish. 1 Peter 4:7, and it reads, "But the end of all things is at hand. But the end of all things is at hand. But be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer." So we're watching and we're seeing what's exactly been promised to us coming to pass. So Lord willing, it's been edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.